Hello, everyone. You are tuned into Conversations with Graciously Me. My name is Jamila Scott. I am owner of Jamila Scott Enterprises, founder of Graciously Me Women's Empowerment Group, and host of this wonderful, amazing show, Conversations with Graciously Me. And tonight and every show is sponsored by the Graciously Me Boutique. So if you have not shopped at shopgraciouslyme.com, you have to do yourself a service and go over there. For women, this is where empowered women shop for statement tees, jewelry, health and wellness products for me days, self-care days. You have to get over there as soon as possible. So once again, the show is sponsored by the Graciously Me Boutique at shopgraciouslyme.com. And I see that we already have people joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is not too late to share. So go ahead and share this live. Let people know that we are on. Tonight's show is a must-see show. This tonight's show, if you're down, if you're out, if you think you can't make it, if you can't, this is where you need to be tonight. And so please share. Also, like Conversations with Graciously Me Facebook page, as well as subscribe. We're on YouTube, so you can go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. Also, let me say this. On the description, I use StreamYard to go live. So I want to be able to see your profile picture when you make comments, when you ask questions. And in order to do that, you have to give StreamYard permission to see who you are. Otherwise, I have no idea who's asking the question or making a comment. So if you want to be known, please hop out for 1 second. Go to the description, give StreamYard permission to see your profile picture, and I'll be able to see exactly who you are. Let's see. If you are watching the replay, type hashtag replay. I want to let you know that we love our replay viewers, and I want to show you some love. So I won't know you're here if you don't let me know. So if you type hashtag replay, I'll know you're here. I'll be able to show you some love. Like I said, I normally don't give a disclaimer before my shows, but tonight, y'all, we're talking real. We're talking real. We're talking real life situations. We're going to give you how it is. We're not watering down anything. We're going to give it to you just like it is. So this is a love zone. This is a judge-free zone. This is all of that. But if you have questions, we want you to interact. We want you to make comments. We want you to get an understanding if you can, but this is not a place of judgment. This is not a place where love does not reside. And this is not a place where realness is not seen as realness. We're going to be real because people are living real life issues, real life situations. And so how can we help you if we don't give you real life information? So we're talking real life tonight. And I can think of no other person better to share their testimony, share their story. We want to talk about the other side of victory with the wilderness warrior herself, Miss Yolanda Poe. Welcome, 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 beautiful. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I am so super excited.
I am excited to have you here. I am just so glad you said yes. I am so glad that you are willing to be open. I am so glad that you're just willing to just help somebody on tonight, because that's our goal tonight. Our goal is to help someone, to let you know that life is tough, to let you know that you can make it, to let you know that, yes, you may go through some stuff, but you're going to get out on the other side, and that there is another side after you become victorious. There's still yet another side. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Not everybody will be willing to share their testimony the way that you're willing to share. And so I just want to say thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let me ask you this. What makes you choose to accept? Because if you, let's do this.
Okay.
Let me just say a little bit. Yolanda has been through a lot. She has come out greater. But she has been through a lot. She was an assistant pastor. She was in a same-sex marriage that was abusive. She lost multiple people, including her parents, in a short amount of time, her best friend. So you have gone through a lot. I can almost say like a Job-like experience through your life.
Felt
But
like
and you like a real life Job experience, but you have come out on the other side, because I don't just want to leave it there, but we're going to go through that whole timeline, what we can within 45 minutes to an hour. We're going to go through that and let you know, hey, she's engaged to a wonderful fiance, that he loves her and supports her. Now she's able to smile. She has been blessed. So you can come out on the other side. So I wanted to say just a little bit of that, because my first question that I wanted to ask you was, what made you choose to accept this interview? Because you could have said, no, I'm not going to talk about this. Or you could have said, yeah, I'll talk about it, but these are the things that I'm going to leave out. Let me know what made you say yes, and what's your goal for tonight's broadcast?
Okay. My yes came from a place of prayer. I had asked God, what is it that I can do to empower others, or what is it can I do to as a career and not a job that you have called me to do? And I didn't get an answer, so I thought. And so I went to my niece, Aaliyah Marshall. I'll put a name out there. Altavis Peltzer's daughter.
All right. You can't, Aaliyah, you can't get away from that.
Right now. That's my sister prophetess. So I said, I need you to go to God with me and ask God, what is it that your auntie should be doing right now? And she said, okay, auntie. And so Altavis also, and they prayed. And then I received the phone call from Kim. And I said, you know what? Long short of it is, this is what I love to do. This is who I am. I live and I breathe to motivate, to cultivate, to grow. I often make the statement to my niece, and I said, it sounds morbid, but when I leave here, who I want to be at my funeral are all of the women that has turned into warriors, that have learned how to pray and to fight. And the enemy will be in the room excited because I have died and I'm no longer around, but there will be a whole group of warriors in the room at my funeral, worshiping, going to another level, because my mantle, I pass on. And I want everyone to be greater than who I am in every area of their life. That is my purpose.
I love that. I mean, to take your pain and turn it into purpose. It's everything we go through seems to be not for us. At the end of the day, it ends up being for somebody else. Fortunately or unfortunately, we have to go through it. You know what I mean? But that's what seems to happen. And for you to be able to do that with all that you've been through, and to not come out hating and bitter and mad and upset with the world and all of that, is just a testament to how you can actually come out on the other side. So I've said a little bit, but I have done your story no justice. I just wanted the people to get a little glimpse for a second, for a moment, of just a little bit before I ask you with that first question. But you tell us, where does your story begin?
I want to make a statement based off of something you said. I was very bitter for a while.
Okay.
I want everyone to be clear. I did not go from being in and getting out and being happy. No. I went through some bitterness. I had a good, who I thought was a friend at the time when I was going through my problem. She didn't know that I was living a lesbian lifestyle. And she was like, oh, God brought us together, and oh, God wanted us to be friends. And I'm so glad God. And when my wife at the time had asked me to post, and she was like, well, you're not happy for us, and you're hiding me. And I'm like, no, babe, that's not what I'm doing. And I posted, the girl hit me up in the inbox and said, you're a lesbian. Before I could respond, she blocked me.
Wow.
So I went through a level of bitterness, and I was by myself, and people didn't understand me, and people were writing me off. So I did go through some bitterness. I did have some problems in relationships where I wasn't able to function properly because I was so bitter. I hated church even more than I did when I left it as a minister. So yes, but this side of the victory, I can say to you, no, there is no bitterness. So where did my story start? Um, ugh. I want to go like what portion? Because I've shared quite a bit.
You have, but I want to, because you started when we talked, you started about a little bit about pastoring, that you were assistant pastor. So when you told me that,
Let's start there then.
Yes, I knew that that meant a lot to you and that there was something there. So let's start there and we can move from there.
Okay. So that was very, very early on. And that was when I realized that I had desires for women.
Mm-hmm.
I was in my early 20s and I didn't know how to shake it. I came from a mother that was an evangelist. My father was a son of a pastor. And I come from a very doctor, lawyer, doctor degrees, professor family.
Yeah.
Holiness or hell without, no man sees God. So I had put it down for me. I said, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna bother with it no more. I'm just gonna do what God would have me to do. But then when I started to see what the saints of God were doing, they were just judging people. The people that I were going after, even as I was living as a lesbian, trying to cover it up, were prostitutes and drug addicts and alcoholics. And these women, I was bringing them to church and I was putting them in a pew, and people were being mean to them. And I'm like, well, why do you drag them into church if you don't want to do nothing with them when they get there? Like, except for talk about them. She smells wrong. She's not supposed to smell, sweet boo. She smokes cigarettes. She smokes weed. What is her best friend? Embalming fluid and cigarettes. That's their best friend. How are you doing this? So that made me angry. And then I said, well, God, I'm not staying in church no more. And I'm gonna leave it alone. Because I had left lesbianism alone. And I'm not gonna live like that, because that's not what God intended.
Right.
But the sin was still there. It was still brewing. So I went back to church, but not as a minister. I went back, I slid in through the door, in the back. And
like we do.
Like I do, just kind of sliding in.
Right.
But one of the things that makes people see me is that I sing.
Okay.
So when I open my mouth, this little person, it's melodious.
Right.
So it makes people, even in worship, they turn around. So then they're like, oh, we need you on our choir. So I'm on this choir, and I'm on that choir. And so I had joined a particular church, and I'm not giving names.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows, I'm not, this is not a put church folk out on blast moment.
Right.
I joined a church, and the pastor said he did not know that I was in that lifestyle. This was before the marriage.
Right.
And in my mind, and I'm just going to keep it raw, with all the anointing that folks say they have, I have a hard time when people say they're in leadership that you can't recognize a spirit. It just does something to me. I could not understand when he said to me he did not know. He said if I knew, I would know how to respond to it.
Wow.
So I said, okay. So that disrespectful statement that I just made, I did not make to him. I just went. Because I that was what was running through my mind. I mean, you're so anointed. I don't even understand how you didn't know. Not that I was flamboyant, not that I was, I was fawning all over women. Oh God, that sounds gross. No, I didn't do that as a heterosexual or a homosexual or a lesbian. I didn't do that. But I just didn't understand. But he then said, I'm gonna have to sit you down until I can figure out how to respond to people, and then we're gonna have to start counseling sessions. So I said, okay. I was broken because he said, I don't know how to respond to the people.
Wow.
That broke me, because if we all were to sit with a naked spiritual eye and look at the sins and the struggles that everyone has, from the pulpit to the door, they're there.
Yes.
They're there. And ministers wake up with whatever struggle they have. They may not know how to speak to people properly. Maybe they got everything all together, but for some reason, when they open their mouth, stupid stuff falls out, and they don't know how to pick it up afterwards. They just it may be that, or maybe they don't respond to their wife properly, or maybe they're having multiple sex partners. Whatever it is, maybe they smoke weed or they shoot up between their toes, but nobody knows these things. And it just, when he said that to me, it broke me. So I left. He did not put me out. He did not. I did not speak. I did not say, I need this, I need that. I didn't say anything. I just left.
Right.
And then to move on, I was back. I was still in the relationship because it was on and off, and the abuse was gradual. It was not immediate. Please let me be clear. In this relationship, it was not immediate. So they were doing drugs, and I did not know. So someone says, well, how do you not know? This is how you don't know. When you release your loved one in the morning, and your loved one come home at night, you do not know what your loved one is doing unless you are constantly talking and texting all day long.
Yes, that's true for anybody.
Anybody.
Right.
So when she would come home, she'd be sober as a judge. So I did not know. That was before wet, because that was what her twist was. So it was before that. So she was just popping perks. So anybody doesn't know how perks work, if you're using it as a recreational drug, it takes you to a high. But when it drops you, it changes your whole personality. You can become distant, violent, I don't know what it does to their body, but her personality would shift from here to here.
Wow.
And I noticed it, but we women,
right.
What are you gonna do? When it's that time of the month, some women, you used to get one good week out of me. I was irritable for 2 weeks. I was on for a week, and then the last week I was trying to get my life in order.
Right.
So I didn't think anything of it. I'm working. I'm doing what I gotta do, and I'm not in church, and I'm not doing any church stuff. I'm not in church. But then we had separated. We'd always separate and come back, and she had gotten pregnant. And folks said, you need to go back and help her. So I said, I'll help her. That helper went from, we love each other, we might as well get married. So we got married, and things, even before that, actually, the drugs got worse. The abuse got worse. The waking me up in the middle of the night and shaking me and not speaking to me. And I'm like, what's going on? And I've been choked a couple times. I've been, snatched a couple times. And just so it's clear, because she and I have gone through healing, I can say this, that it was not one-sided, because she taught me that I needed to defend myself. So I did fight back. And I did give her a run for the money. And if I had something to throw at her, I did throw. I was throwing and twisting and turning, and I was fighting for my dear life. I did not care, because I knew I had to fight.
Right.
But in my mind, the Bible talks about, when you go to anything that's not of him, you'll end up with a reprobate mind. In my mind, I loved her. So I had to, that's how other people live. And I had to accept her, because that's how she lived. So I had to I was married until death do us part. That is the twisted thing. So I had to deal with it. So we got married. The baby was there, and I felt we gotta do this. We gotta stay together. But then she lost her baby because of drugs, and then that didn't go very well in the relationship. And then I lost my car because she would take money out of my bank account, and I couldn't. I'm stupid. That's what I'm not literally, but in my mind, I don't think, if I trust you, let me be very clear with you. If I trust you, sweetheart, I will leave my wallet right there. If I trust you, I should be able to go to sleep at night, leave it there during the day, send you to the store with it, and know that when you come back, you didn't do nothing else with it but buy whatever you said you was going to buy. She was tapping me for drug money. So when the car note that was on a payment arrangement, because you know how sometimes we do.
Yes.
It was a brand new car. We're in 2016. And we got a knock at the door at 2:30 in the morning, and they wanted the payment.
Wow, at 2:30 in the morning?
Well, that was nice. It was the tow man. He could have just took it.
Yeah, that's true.
Knocked on the door, and he said he needed the money. I didn't look at her. He said, well, if you don't have the money, you're going to have to. I said, can I at least get my things out the car? And they said, yes. So her statement to me was, I thought you took care of that. So that was my first strike.
Mm.
I'm fighting, I'm screaming, I'm hollering. Then I had my granddaughter, and my daughter had moved in with us. My grandbaby is my world. She is the child that I could not have.
Wow.
Because I had surgery. And God knew that I couldn't handle no little babies, no how can we just
Right.
So my daughter got pregnant. And that little girl, when they brought her out to me, I said, well, hello. She turned around and looked at me. She was 45 minutes old and smiled.
Wow.
And we had been close ever since. So my wife at the time took the car, which, mind you, this was not the car that was repoed. This was the piece of junk that I had to buy in order to get back and forth to work. I lived in Philadelphia, had to go to Hamilton, New Jersey every single day, that every day.
Wow.
I had itsy bitsy amounts of money in the bank. I'm sorry, available, not in the bank. At this point, I had started to smoke weed and had started to do some drinking. I wish I had a picture to show y'all, but I was about 110 pounds.
Wow.
I am now happily 165 because the majority
Right.
of it is muscle because I still work out. But she took the car one day and said, I'll be right back. That was always her line. I'll be right back. And I said, well, make sure because I need to get to the market. She came back, had put $5 worth of gas in the car and the little hoopty that I had and said, yo, be good with that because that's all me. My grandbaby wanted something from the market.
Mm.
And everything within me, rage rose up, and she was facing the wall. And I turned around, and at that moment, I was going to take her life.
Mm.
I didn't think about how I was going to do it, but I was going to do it. And then I heard my granddaughter go, Mama! And I stopped.
Oh.
That was time number 2. That was the moment that I decided that I needed to go.
Yes.
Because I had blacked out for one moment.
Mm.
She was literally within 2 steps away from me, grabbing her from behind and choking her. 2 steps away. So that was when that's the beginning of the story. I always would go back to her. It wasn't that she was coming to me. I was always going back to her. Again, I had the deaths. The deaths were there. There were 6 deaths in 4 months. 2 of them were my parents. It was my ex-companion's father. I preached his funeral. One of my best friends, she had taken ill. She was sick. She had died. I watched them take her off of life support.
Mm.
That was my Altavisa's mother. I watched her, my very best friend. Everything, I had nothing left.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing left. And here this woman is, and this is all I got left. And this is what she does to me. I said, but I can't stay here because my granddaughter won't understand why my mom is not here anymore. So I set up a plan. And there were people that helped me that even to this day, I'm not even allowed to mention. They asked me that I never do. But my sons helped me move. And we had dropped her off at work. And my sons helped me move. The young lady that God gave me to help me, not only helped me with her vehicle, but she gave me money so that I could live for a bit.
Right.
I went and lived in an abandoned home. You might as well say that a pastor, my sister had found for me. And the pastor said, well, I'll fix it up the best I can. The electricity is on. You can stay there. I'll fix it up for you. I said, I'm not going to be there that long. He didn't understand. I was only literally passing through.
Right.
We were there for 1 week. That one week that we were there, I listened to somebody lose their life outside my bedroom door. I'm about
My God.
and my children were in the back, so they couldn't hear anything. The roaches were downstairs. None of them were upstairs, but the upstairs bathroom was hideous. I bought stuff for Frozen to put all over the bathroom so it looked really cute for her. So when she got in the tub, that it was so old and dirty, and that you couldn't even scrub the dirt off. It was just embedded in the tub. So I put down a runner in the tub, and I put up the Frozen curtain, and I had Frozen towels and anything that I could find to make it look like it was okay is what I did for them. And the Lord sent me, you know what? God will send you a blessing if the devil got to bring it. So the local drug dealer that was in charge of the block took fancy to me and said, you don't look like you from here. Let me help you. I will watch your girls for you while you were gone. Meaning that if they decide to come outside, that they would make sure they safe. And he did just that. And the nightmare still came, and the PTSD still came, and I still was hearing sirens and hearing her voice, and I still was waking up in cold sweats because I thought she had found me, even though I was in the lowest place that no one would think I would be. I met the local prostitutes, and they were real. There was a trap house a couple doors down. It was real. That was the drug addicts that walked the streets. But when I parked my car somewhere I had no business, Miss Yo, you shouldn't park there.
Wow.
One night, what landed me in Delaware is that the night that I was going to park in the parking spot right near my home, some said, don't park there. So I said, okay, that was the Holy Ghost. I'm learning not to just say something.
Something, right?
Down at the corner, woke up that next morning after hearing that person had lost their life. I heard the 911 call, the sirens, everything. Never went to my window. Where I parked that car is where that person's body was, because they had put tape there. Wow. My car would have been, whatever was going on would have been right there.
Right in the middle.
There was another death in the family. This was my best friend, another best friend. Her sister had passed. And my godchildren, I was constantly going to the hospital. My son, I have several, so I call them all my sons. But my son that I gave birth to, my daughter told on me. She told him that the person died out front. So he came over, saw the blow-up bed. The place was a mess. The walls wasn't painted. It was just a hot mess. The floors weren't shellacked. It was just beat up hardwood floors. I had a small little refrigerator about yay big on the floor. He said, Mom, you can't stay here, okay? You're going to come stay with me. I said, I'm fine. He said, Mom, this is not peaceful. I said, this is peaceful for me. You have no idea what I've been through. So that is that is my story. That is how I've gotten here. And I'm going to let you ask the next question. That was
everybody, look, they know that I'm just trying to give you the floor.
Yeah.
You probably can see it on my face. Like I got a million things.
Yeah, I see it. And
I want to ask, but I don't want to overtalk you because I think everybody needs to hear this, so I'm, and we're already at 7:30. We already, can you believe it? But okay. So let me ask you this. And you guys that's listening tonight, we are talking about the other side of victory. We're talking about real life situations going on in the church, out of the church, people who came in to get the love of God and was basically rejected. And then the different things that life throws at us. For you, it may not be, it may not be death. For you, it could be anything. It could be drugs. It could be what. None of us are exempt at all from something.
Exactly.
So that's why I always live a very, I don't judge. I love with everything in me because, and in order to get mercy, you got to give mercy. I mean, we all have something that we're tussling with. So one of the main reasons, I know I asked you, why did you accept? But one of the main reasons that I wanted you on was for people to see a real life person, a real life. You're not the only one that's going through X, Y, or Z. You're not the only one that loved God and your head leadership said they don't know what to do with you. Like, how can you even say that, even if that's what it was? To me, good leadership would have been able to articulate that better,
Yeah.
knowing that you are a soul, you have feelings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things happen. I want to ask you, were you drawn into the same sex relationship because of maybe some of those things, the things that happen in church, felt like you maybe, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, so if I'm saying something that's not right, you go to the church, they're not accepting. You go, and it's all of us want to feel love. All of us want to feel important to somebody. All of us want to feel. So is that why, or you just, and I'm asking because eventually you leave out of the same sex relationship. So that's why I'm asking is, what do you, how can I put it? Basically, what drew you in?
What drew me into that relationship?
Yeah,
into those relationships? I had some bad experiences with men. My father said to me, pretty much, however I feel is how you feel, and you're allowed to cry. You're allowed to hurt. You're allowed to voice your opinion, and you're allowed. And every relationship that I was in with a man, I didn't have those options. I was either told I couldn't work, or don't stop crying, you cry too much, or don't laugh, you laugh too much, or don't. I could never be what these jokers wanted me to be. I couldn't, no matter how hard. And I'm really, really sensitive, extremely sensitive, very loving. Give you everything I got. But they just were mean.
Yeah.
They were very mean. And then I noticed my friends, my friend that I didn't even know was attracted to me at the time, she didn't treat me like that. She was really nice to me. And if I cried, what can I do to make you feel better? So I was drawn to that because of the sensitivity that women give one another. Right. That was it. It wasn't the sex. Because some people think that when people go to the other side, it's because of, someone over there, that sex part is all that. No, folk just know what to do while they're over there. It does not necessarily mean that that's the reason why they're drawn. There's other reasons. My reason, because there's several, but my reason was because they were mean to me. And I said to God, and this leads into why I am with David. Okay. What I said to God was this: there is absolutely no way in the world that I can ever fathom being in a relationship with a man, because they are rude, they are obnoxious, they are selfish, self-absorbed, egotistical, persistent little so-and-sos. And there is not a man on this planet that you can ever give me. He ain't here. Right. And yes, I spoke to God that way. Yes, I did.
That's why I'm laughing, because that's how I am too. I'm like,
my friend, he may be sovereign, and he does put me in my place, and I know when I need to drop my face. But that's what I said to him. Ain't no man like that out here. They don't make them like that. They're not loving. They're not caring. They don't seek you like women seek you. Women seek you. Women fall on their face and stay there until they get an answer. Men don't do that. How about when you drop him, I'll take it. And I wasn't trying to be funny. I was right. When you drop him, I'll take it.
So you challenged. You gave him a challenge.
I said, and I can't know that he coming either. So don't be doing no old slick stuff talking about, look, So he was a friend's brother, an associate's brother. And I had bought a coconut. No, let me go back. Altavis had a gathering. We had to go speak somewhere in Virginia. And he lived 7 minutes from Dorothea Robinson. I'm dropping names now.
I'm telling you. I'm glad you wrote that book already.
Yes. Okay. So I'm dropping. So Dorothea Robinson, the exit strategist, she helps women get out of abusive relationships as well. So I had dropped her off. And I said, you know what? In my mind, I wasn't even into this man. I need you to understand. I wasn't, not at all. There was nothing that would draw me to say, let me go drop by to say David. Because David is not going to understand if I was in the neighborhood and didn't stop by and say hi.
Right.
Didn't make no sense. At the time, I wasn't even thinking. I called him up. He was home. I gave him a hug and I went home. Then another time I called him and I said, listen, I texted him. I got this coconut and and if I throw it out the window, if I go out there, will it crack open? Because I didn't know. So he laughed, said he'd do it. He'd do it for me. He came here, cracked the coconut, no sex, no nothing. Everything was fine. Man loves the Lord, bottom line, loves the Lord, adores the Lord. We worship together. We pray together. We read scriptures together. We sort stuff out that needs to be sorted out in prayer, in Christ. Laugh a lot. We do fight. Our fights are not really deep, which is beautiful. That's another thing. It's not where he's verbally abusive. I'm not verbally abusive. We had disagreements. They're sweet. There's different disagreements they're wrapped in love, and it may take us a little bit longer because they are wrapped in love. So they're strategically dealt with, but it has been 3 years, and it has been that way for 3 years.
Wow.
God.
Yeah, because that's where I was going. I gotta ask you. Because I know, if I know how church people, church folks, I know how they can be.
I wasn't even
not talking about one church or another church. I'm just talking about as a whole.
I wasn't even thinking about the people. You know what? I was all about survival. And forgive me for sounding arrogant because I always wasn't here. I am absolutely a phenomenal woman. And there is absolutely no reason why I shouldn't be getting what I'm supposed to be getting down here. And I should be able to minister that to other people. And I don't care how anybody views me, because this one up here, he's the one that ordained me with or without paperwork that says I'm ordained. So because of that, those people in the church don't move me. My desire is that they learn what true love looks like, because they know the meaning of it, because you can look it up in the book. You can go ahead and you can sit in church and somebody can tell you about it. You can hear bits and pieces of it, but I need them to really know love. And love is not saying that because I know you got this sin, you can't serve. Because God will save you. He will deliver you in the midst of all of your mess.
Yes.
And bring you to a place that you can say, I know y'all know me how I was, but I am no longer because the hunger, the thirst after righteousness fills people. It changes people. When you are in love with somebody, let's take it natural. You want to make sure their food is cooked right, their clothes are ironed right, that you are doing everything you want. And when you don't do it, it breaks your heart. That is the relationship that we can have with God, but that all takes time. When you meet somebody in the natural, come on here. You don't automatically want to make sure they're happy. Their happiness does not mean that much to you, but as you get to know them, that thing grows. And that's how it works in the walk with Christ. I need saints to know that. I need saints to be sensitive to that. Lesbians, gays, bisexuals, gender X's, they are there for a reason. The fact that they're there should not be an issue. That shouldn't be it. It's all about love, because God knows where they are, because he see them every day. Our job is not to catch the fish, gut the fish, clean the fish, serve the fish. He said, I made you fishers of men. That's all he said. He
Catch
to go folk and change folk, and you can't do this because you ain't right, baby.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm sorry.
I love how you answered that, because that is very important. Because some people say, oh, I'm just mad. I'm just mad with the church. I'm just mad with the church. And they just use that as a crutch to not.
We don't know. Church folk, we don't know. We trying.
All of us. That's what I'm saying.
Everybody trying. People gave me, and then people talk about, I understand you got to minister, but you can't minister here. So let me give you a list of churches you go to. They don't know no better. They only going by protocol. They're going, but some of these churches are large organizations, and they have protocol they have to go by. They have guidelines and bylaws, and they got all of that foolishness they have to go by in order to get their paycheck, or to get their free will offering. There's certain things they have to do, and they can't go up against the grain. They can't do it. Bishop O.T. Jones Jr., I'm going to drop another name. Man is deceased. We had blind, crippled, crazy. We had everything. But in the end of it all, these people love the Lord. And they worship. And they spent the majority of their time in church. Now, however they ended up later, I don't know, because I wasn't there. But we lived in that building. It's very hard to cut a rug, and that's real stupid if every time the building is open, you in it.
Right.
Whatever lifestyle you living, you in there every time they open the door. You there for Bible study, prayer meeting, usher meeting. You ain't even on this board, but you in there in the meeting. You in there cleaning the carpet and wiping down the pulpit. You ain't even got nothing to do in it. You just in there.
Right. I know that's right.
I mean,
speak the truth in here.
We got right. I mean, I don't fault the church. I don't, because we're all human.
Yeah.
Now, if you'd have said that to me about 2-3 years ago, I would have said that they was a large group of people and the Lord needed to just sit them all down. But at this point, we're human.
That is so true. That's so true.
We need to figure it out as a saved people, because the world is looking. And we talk about this God, this love, and they're mad at God right now because of the coronavirus. And we say God is love, but the whole world was shut down. We really got to step our game up now.
Yes, definitely. And that's the thing. Love. We have to get back to that, because if we did, and not saying, I know it has to be rules, I know it's regulation, I know it's order. You know what I mean? I'm not throwing that out of the window.
Exactly.
Well, but what I'm saying is, you can't say you want to catch a fish, quote unquote, and then when you catch them, they don't look like how you want them to look. They don't do what you want them to do. So there you go. You just throw them back. You just don't pay any attention to them. You just, kind of don't speak to them when they come in. You can't do that. You got to love people. You got to love souls. You got to love, someone to life. You can't hate someone to life. And so if we're supposed to be examples, how in the world can we do that when it's so much bashing and it's so much? I wouldn't come. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want to, if every time I go somewhere, I wouldn't want to go if I didn't feel the love. But that, as you receive that love, then you get a connection with that person. Then you can kind of get in, see, maybe hear their story, understand, you don't have to agree. You don't have to agree.
Exactly.
In order to show love. So look, what steps did you take? Because you went from, like you told me earlier, like literal hell to now. That's your words.
Yeah, those are my literal hell. I was there.
So
I thought I was living there. It was only a vacation. I didn't.
Thank God for that. Because I don't want nobody, having to go through all that. But I know it was for a reason. Yeah. And I know, thank God, it was only for a season. But what did you do? So many people get stuck there. So many people give up. So many people just say, I quit. So what made you, was your children enough of a push? Was your son enough of a push? Like, what made you say, I'm not giving up? Was it your granddaughter?
I wanted what my father said before he died. He said, I'm okay with going home because I've lived a full life. I want to be able to say that.
Yes.
My children mean a lot to me. I often have make this statement to all of them, and it freaks them out. So y'all better get to know God for yourself. I said, because when I'm going here, baby, I'm not going to be able to pray you out. I'm not going to see you in the spirit and then snatch you. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to call you and say, don't you, whatever it is you get ready to do, don't do that. And I do that with my kids. What you get ready to do? I'll call out the visa in a minute. What you doing? Auntie, what? What are you getting ready to do? I caught it in the spirit. What is going on? I'm not going, one day I'm not going to be here. it's got to be something better than this. It's got to be something better than this. And that's what got to be something. I'm coming out of this. I don't know how I'm coming, but I'm coming out of this. I'm coming out of this. Mind you, no mother, no father, no sister, no brother. I had absolutely I was doing this on my own. Friends, if y'all don't catch nothing else, my desire to fight, my desire to live a better life, my desire to be that woman that I know that I could be, that's what it was. And you may say, well, I don't feel like I'm none of them people. Bishop O.T. Jones Jr. always used to say, you say yes until you mean it. So you say, I am that woman until you mean it. I am that professional. I am that entrepreneur. I am that fighter. You keep saying it and you don't believe it. None of them times did it come out your mouth. With the weed, with the weed to your lips, with the wet to your lips, with the Percocets, with the Zoloft, with the Respidol that you were overdosing on, all of that stuff. All of the coke, the crack, all of that. I am better than this. That is what got me where I am, because I said, I'm coming out of this. And I didn't believe it. I need y'all to be clear. I did not believe that I was coming out because no one could help me. I didn't, nobody really wanted to be around me because I was with her. I was not eating. I was not sleeping. I was going to work every single day. I never missed a beat of work. Every single day, feeling like I was less of a person. But I said, my mother told me that the God that she served was a deliverer.
Come on.
And that he was a provider. So I would often say, because I'm big on almost dying, because I'm going to say cocky when it comes to talking to her. I'll go, yo, you said that you was going to deliver me. It's your job to deliver. It's not my job to figure out how you're going to do it. So I know you're going to do it. I'm coming out of this. I'm coming out of this. I didn't see nothing. We were living in a room with a piece of car that I had bought. And I'm calling the police every now and then. One time the police told me, they said, we're not going to lock you up because she said that she wasn't going to press charges. What?
Wow.
I was the one that called you. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to be quiet because, see, I'd hate to have to take you down to the state. What? And I was like, it's got, I'm coming out of this. I'm coming out. I would be in there drunk as a skunk, worship music playing, crying, praying in the spirit, curled up in the ball, in the corner, in the kitchen, screaming, praying. She'd be there, but I would be screaming and praying. And I kept saying, I'm coming out. And when I came out, let's be very clear that I was not okay. And that is when I started writing my books. I was not okay at all. And how did I get out and stay out? Is I am still in therapy.
Yes. Ain't
nothing like what I was. 5 years free. Nothing like what I was. But I still allow myself to be in therapy because I still have those deaths that I have not dealt with. Things as a parent that I did not deal with because my parents were dead. So I didn't have anybody to tell me how I should raise my children. My children were very ill. My daughter was extremely ill. She had 6 surgeries before the age of 9. I went through hell. And mind you, the deaths had happened. My son was set on fire in 2000 and December 2nd. I was living this mess. Of other things which I won't even say because I didn't get permission from them, but they went through some stuff. Enough to make a mother cuss, enough to make a mother lose it, enough to make when my son was set on fire, I was a minister and I had to stand before people on the news. I don't know. I tried to Google it and I can't find it, but I have the newspaper clip. We were all over the news. And I had to tell them people in the city of Chester, do not go looking for this person. Let the police do their job. I went back into that hospital and threw up all over the place. I didn't mean one word I said, but I was told that because I was a minister, I had to do that. In my mind, I got better than this. It's better than this. So now because I trusted God, even then because I didn't know that what real trust looked like, I didn't know nothing. I sit now in this apartment that I've been in here for 3 years. This is the longest I've lived anywhere since June 22nd. It is a fully, completely furnished apartment to the point that it's so much in here, I really need to move.
Wow.
That's how I got out. So please, no, you can get out. You just have to fight. And yes, you may be by yourself and nobody's going to understand you. And with all of my degrees, all of my friends with degrees, the one that I loved so much, she walked away from me. And then she came back to check on me. And because I wasn't where she thought I should be, she just dropped me. Even in this season. Right when I got engaged, she dropped me. You're going to be by yourself. You're going to have to deal with a whole bunch of stupid stuff. People ain't going to like you. They didn't like you before. They truly not going to like you now because God is getting ready to elevate you. I walk in it. I encourage everyone, walk in it. It don't even look right. It don't. And nothing's going to look right to you. You're going to think all of this stuff I'm talking is going to look like crazy. I'm glad you needed that, Tracy. It's all going to look like it's a waste of time. Why bother? Why write the book? Why start the business? Why even go to work? Why even get out of bed? Because he said he would do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you could ask. But most importantly, think that little small thought you got on your mind or whatever it is you think you're going to get and whatever think is due you, baby, it exceeds that. Y'all ain't finished with me yet. I'm just engaged. God just gave me a godly man. We ain't even got started yet. Ministry hasn't even started to grow. All we did was throw some seed in the ground. I'm waiting for something to come forth from that. I see little bitty little buds at the top. That's what I see. Ain't even nothing. You can't tell there's flowers down there. Itty bitty little buds in the dirt. That's how it starts, y'all.
Woo! Look, it take a lot to shut me up, but I tell you, oh my gosh, tonight. I was going to ask you, like we got to talk about some of the good stuff that's going on now because I don't want to leave, but you made sure we talked about that.
We got it.
Yes, and how your life is just so different now. I mean, amazing. Amazing.
And I say another book will be out next year because I have to give this story from when I first started therapy up until the wedding. Those who started the ministry journey with me have turned against me, but I won't stop shining for God. Thank you, Trace.
Yes.
Thank you.
To hear, she said she can't wait to purchase. I know, look, we get ready to talk about how you can get the first one. How you can get the first book. But I'm telling you, just the fact that you talk about walking alone, how you talking about, a lot of this, you ain't gonna have somebody to hold your hand, and just even me, how I feel like I'm just putting seeds, I'm just saying, and I've been doing different things for years, but how I just, sometimes people don't know. I get on here, they don't know what I just went through before I got on here. Sometimes I don't even want to get on here. You know what I mean? Or I have to push myself. I have to, nothing worth having really comes easy. You're going to have to, you get that the greatest people, you should ask them, first thing you should ask them is, what's your story? Because you don't become great, and you haven't gone through anything.
What was that? I woke up like this. Is it Beyonce that said it? No.
Yes, it is.
I wake up, boo-boo, like this. No, we did not. Our hair was messed up. There was no makeup. And if it was all down our face. Our clothes, we was in sweats. We looked horrific because we were going through. But when we came up, we looked amazing. One of the books is called Mass Darkness. And I talk about how we put a mask on every day and people don't really know what we look like. They really don't. They don't know about, there was a time, and I had been working on my body for the longest time. There was a time the acne was severe with me. It was heavy with me. I'm all made up today, but if I took it off, it's not as bad as it was. I'm not hiding blemishes. I'm just now giving an even look at this moment. But there was a time that the pimples were there and everything was horrible and I was hiding everything and the gray hair and I was struggling to keep the gray just out of my hair. It was just so much going on. that we don't wake up like this. We wake up sometimes in tears, cry our way through the day. I have many a days at work I sat, because I work from home. I've been here for 5 years thanks to my job, because they allowed me to get out of my abusive relationship and never miss a beat. I would be sitting at my desk in tears, taking calls, and I'll go, Mr. Jones, let me process that, I'll be right back. And I'll be fighting back the tears, wiping them away as I'm typing. And sometimes God would send me somebody with a word. One time he did. Man said to me, God loves you so much. I'm just sitting there and I'm typing. He said, he loves you so much. And I see you curled up in a ball in a corner. Do y'all remember what I said earlier?
Yes.
I see you curled up in a ball in a corner. And God said, why haven't you asked me for what you need? I'm right here. Just ask me. God will open up stuff for you in the midst of, but we don't wake up like that.
No.
We look fabulous right now, but what we went through.
Woo! Nobody knows. I'm telling you, but when I hear, the women say, thank you, Jamila. When I hear the women say, I needed that. Thank you for saying, I'm like, okay, all right. There's a reason for this. You're not just, you know what I mean? So you gotta have a passion. You gotta have a purpose. It can't be money. It can't be material things that's going to go away. It has to be a passion, purpose, or else it will just fizzle out. So how can we purchase your books? Is there a website? Where do we go?
I will say to you right now, you can go on Amazon.
Okay.
If you go there and type in Yolanda Poe, all of the books that I have written are there. Now, there are 4.
Okay.
2 of them, one of them is called it's called Mass Darkness, and the other one is This Old House. Okay. This, and then the word OLE, old house, HOUSE. Those 2 books right there are literally, it's like a prep to prepare you for is Mass Darkness. And then This Old House, it talks about you cleaning out your spiritual house by using your actual house. So I just want to encourage you guys, just think about what you have in your closets that man or that woman or that person gave you that has to do with your past. And every time you look at it, it takes you back to a place you have no business being. Do you really need that in your closet? I'm just going to drop the mic right there. Do you need it? Soul Ties comes in all types of forms, and the stuff that I just can't let go of this pen because Johnny gave me this pen. And I know I'm married, but Johnny was special to me. And how is you holding on to this here pen that Johnny gave you helping your marriage? So these are the things that you need to, those are the 2 books it's on Amazon. The other 2 books after that are actually my story without giving any names of people from a childhood on up. I have not written the book about my abuse, and I'm going to be very transparent and say, because I started it and then I made a mistake and copied and pasted because I was moving something, and now I have it doubled. And because it's so much pain in it, I have a hard time going back to it to edit it. So that book, I don't know when I'm going to get it out, but it is going to come out. But The Other Side of Victory will be out next year. I will figure out exactly when that will be. That one I'm doing it a little different than I did the other books. So,
so how can everyone follow you? How can they keep up with you? Do you have? We're going to change that.
Right. I was like, did you see it? I was like, I have not, and it's not for not being requested. I have not gone live in a while. Even he was fussing at me about going live. I haven't gone live in a while. I haven't. I don't know. I don't know. There is a ministry that is in me that I'm trying to tap into. And I don't know where to start. My niece would always say, start at the beginning, my coach, because she was my coach first. She would always say, start at the beginning. So I used to go live every morning. Now what I do is I've been more so on Instagram than I am. And it's Wilderness Warrior 2. I'm mostly on Instagram, and I post things that I see to inspire. using that as a tag to let people know that I'm still breathing, that I'm still moving, and I'm about to pop up, because I am about to pop up. Right now, I do not have.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Wilderness Warrior 2. Yes. I do not have a broadcast that I do as of yet.
That's okay. We're going to make sure that we're going to get you started.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we are going to, that's my cue. We're going to get you started. We're going to get you going. We're going to get you on social media. We're going to do all of that. And I promise you, when we do, I'm going to be the first one to promote. Everybody's going to know. The group of over 900 women is going to know how to find you. The people who like, love, share conversations with Graciously Me is going to know how to find you, because people need what you have to give.
Awesome. So, thank you so much.
You're welcome. From me to you. We're going to get you straight. Well, Yolanda, thank you so much. Truly, 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 you are that wilderness warrior. And I just laugh because I talk to God like that. Like, I'm like, okay, God. And I know part of me gotta be like, part of me be like, girl, you about to get struck. But I'd be like, all right now, because you know I need this and this, and you know I don't have this and that. So what you want to do?
I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? And you know, and again, I say and it sounds so corny, but being in a relationship with a male is so, and actually working through it is work for me. And I'll be like, yo, you may get G.
Yeah.
Get G. Yo, I need you to wake him up. I need you to do something with G.
Yeah.
Because
right.
Son.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like that.
But the beauty is that, yeah, you can talk to him, and yes, God will pull your tail, and he'll pull your coattail and say,
yeah. Yeah.
You know what I did to Miriam, Yolanda? Let's talk about what I did to Miriam when she was out there running her mouth. Keep it up.
Yeah. You zip that thing right on up.
So yeah.
Yes, but thank you. I'm going to put you in the green room. I mean, if you have not got anything tonight, you just should know that there is another side to victory, and that is freedom. No matter what it is, no matter what no matter what your thing is, you can come out on the other side and just look like, because you talk about your skin is gorgeous. It's glowing. You look good. You got this light around, so no one, if you were to walk up to somebody, nobody could really pick that up at all. Oh, this is a great interview. I'm so proud of you, Auntie. That is so sweet. That is so sweet, so sweet. I am going to put you in the green room. We are over time, but it was well worth it. And hold on one second. I'll be right back. Well, listen. If you know somebody who needs to look at this, hear this, watch this, I hardly ever ask people to share a broadcast after the broadcast is over. But listen, people are looking for real people. People are looking for honesty. People are looking for love. People are looking to come out of things. People are looking for help. People want to know, yes, I can make it. Yes, I've been labeled XYZ. I've been labeled ABC, but I don't have to stay with somebody labeled me. People need to hear real life stories. They need to hear, I love God, but I was crying out. I could still talk to him. You don't have to. You can be going through whatever you're going through, and you still can talk to God. You don't have to shut God out, because God already knows. Your creator already knows. It's already known. But what you don't have to single yourself out. You can go through the worst of the worst, and you can come out a whole different person. Look, please share. Please go to Conversations with Graciously Me on Facebook, or Jamila Scott on YouTube. Get there, share it, send it out, share it to your pages. People need to hear what we talked about tonight. People need to hear what Yolanda has to say. People need to hear that. People need to see that they're not the only ones. People need this. So I just ask that you do your part, whether you're watching live or on the replay. Send this out, share it, spread it. It's a message that really needs to be out there. And I just want to say I so appreciate you all for being with us tonight, for hanging in there with us, for less listening, for absorbing, for taking in. I count that a privilege. I count it a joy. It is my passion to see others win. It's my passion to see others excel. And we talk about things like this on Conversations with Graciously Me because it's this type of stuff that keeps us from what we want, from our dream. It keeps us feeling bad. It keeps us in a stage where we just always, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I did this. I did that. That's the kind of stuff that keep you from getting your money. That's the kind of stuff that keep you working a 9-to-5 when you want to work for yourself. That's the kind of stuff you need to have, that self-esteem. You need to know there's nothing that you have done, will do, that will keep you from what you want. That pity, that that's living in that brokenness. Those are the things that have to be tapped before we can do anything else. So thank you for watching tonight. Thank you in advance for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for watching the replay. Don't forget, support the Graciously Me Boutique. It's some fire stuff over there. Like my son say, that's fire, Mom. It's some fire stuff over there that you just gotta have. So make sure you take a look over there. And I just want to say, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. And as I always say, in a world where you can do anything, in a world where you can be anything, in a world where you can want anything, always, always, always choose you first. Be you, because nobody else can beat you at being you. Have a good night.